Hey guys, Brandon Woolum hanging out in Nashville today with our friends TaRanda Greene, Steve McWhirter, and Alvin Slaughter. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
We're doing great. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, we get you here today. Three folks sitting here.
I'm just kidding. What if I just uploaded?
Well, last Thursday.
Oh my gosh, it's really bad.
Anyway, we're sitting here, three different folks with three different worship backgrounds, and now we're coming here together to talk about a joint project with all three of you and a lot of other folks. So let's talk about this new album. It's out there streaming everywhere now. The Houston session live at Iron Manor. How did it come about, and how did you get this group of singers to join you?
Well, it honestly just came together by circumstances. Honestly, they asked me to do a night of worship at the Metro Conference, and I had done several of those, and I loved it and was so grateful. But the more it developed, it turned into, okay, who else can we get to be a part of this? Because I don't like being by myself. I love having my friends around and people around, and really it just turned into saying, oh, what if we had Alvin to come? You think Alvin would be with us? Do you think Steve would come? And so literally just went down a list of some of my favorite people and worship leaders and people who've been a part of my life for a long time and people I just met, and just coming together for a corporate night of just kingdom stuff. Like we weren't concerned about style or decade or anything. We just wanted to choose songs that we felt like people would love and would connect them with the Lord. And so the more it grew, it turned into what it is. And we're just so honored to have been a part of it.
Yeah. So did the crowd even know what they were really getting into that night, or did this all kind of just
No, it was
spontaneous?
Or they're like 300 worship leaders and their wives. Is that right?
Wow. Yeah.
And they had a dinner. This was their formal night of the week. And they were all in like dressy attire, like, tuxes, suits, gowns. And they had a big dinner. And essentially they were told, okay, go and sit down and be quiet. And that's literally all they knew, was they could make noise for a second.
Yeah.
So they were mad because you told them to be quiet, so they were mad.
The first 3 songs were tough.
I do remember walking out and I was wearing basically what I'm wearing now, and all these people, and I literally told them, I said, don't be embarrassed that you didn't get the memo on how to dress. Though it's interesting though. I love the idea of this because if you look at in the Bible, when God's talking about like generations, we often think of like, a younger generation or no. He's talking about everybody alive at that time. Mm-hmm. That was the generation that he was after. And even today, that's the generation he's after. Every person alive right now is that generation that the Lord's seeking to draw together to worship him. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Once that crowd heard what happened that night, did it create some conversations later in that conference about this type of thing?
100%. It was actually the final night of the conference. And just this entire year, as I've seen a lot of them, they're still talking about. I was in San Diego last week, and they were talking about this album because the worship pastor was there that night and telling his choir on 2 Sundays ago, you should have been in Houston in March. So even still they're remembering what a great night it was, and just it was very special to be in that room.
Yeah, the songs are going to hear on this one, they're going to hear some classics, they're going to hear some new ones like Stephen's song. How did you pick these songs, or did you kind of just let these folks go up there and do their thing, and then at the end you're like, oh, we got a nice collection here?
That would have been nice. I probably should have said, what do you feel like doing? But I was going to make sure they wanted to show up first. Like, are you sure you're going to be there? And basically we just called, and it was like, one of my favorite of Alvin's is Holy, Holy, Holy. And so when we talked to him, I was like, would you do that if we created like a new kind of groove to it?
Yeah, they did a great job.
And so, yeah, so once we knew who was coming, the producer, Matt, and I got together, and we just we sat in his house. He's his home studio, and Wayne was there. And honestly, going through the set list of the worship songs, we had a worship meeting there in his house, and just, well, what if we changed here? What do you think if we... So essentially, once we knew for sure who was coming, we were trying to choose songs that, we knew they loved to sing and thought would be a blessing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Steve, let's talk a little bit about the success of Come Jesus Come. You've been doing this for so long, a lot of this type of thing too. You've You've been working with very diverse crowds. Talk about the success of that song finally getting out there, blowing up, and now continuing to touch people and impact people worldwide now.
I'm a big deal.
You are a bigger deal now than the first time I met you.
Why are we even on the same couch?
We put it on you to scooch over.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, man, it's just the song I hope I get to sing until one day I'm singing it and I don't get to finish it because he shows up, you know? I don't know. I mean, my wife and I, we wrote it in our basement literally 5-6 years ago, praying, weeping, and never thinking anybody would hear it. And yeah, so what was a very secret place thing became a very public place thing. And I think it's not about a song per se as much as it is just something the Lord wants generations to sing, you know, and desire and pray. And I think that's really why it works. It's not a formula of this is a good song because of this. It's like, oh, this is something God wants people to sing. You know, he wants people to pray this. And I don't know. I think that's at the core of it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Alvin, you've been doing this for a long time. What do you think is changing in Christian music that might help bridge some of these generational gaps in genres? It seems like we're finally getting to a spot where Jesus music is Jesus music now, and the Southern gospel folks can listen to the other gospel side too, and it's coming closer together finally now, just in the 10 years that I've been in the business. What do you think's creating that?
I think that the main thing is to be just exposed to it. You know, back in the 80s, I went to a church called Brooklyn Tabernacle, and I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in a black Baptist church that turned Pentecostal on me in the ghetto. And then,
Sneaky.
yeah, sneaky church. We went from being very quiet, like, wow, right? So that's all I knew. I knew black gospel choir, tambourines, 15 tambourines playing, all that kind of stuff. And then I go through a life change situation. I end up in this church called Brooklyn Tabernacle, which is a multicultural church. And I had never been in a church like that before. It was a very different situation. And I remember during that time, I was in the choir and someone gave me a cassette back in those days. If you know what a cassette is, someone should ask their parents. They gave me a cassette of Amy Grant. And they said, man, she's awesome. She's the best thing. And I remember listening to Amy Grant. I'm like, nah, I don't know about this music. It's not my thing. But the more I listened to it, I fell in love with songs like El Shaddai, In a Little While We'll Be with the Father. Then someone gave me a CD of Lionel Harris and Sammy Patty singing More Than Wonderful. And it sounded like opera to my ears. But the more I listened to the music, it got into my head, but it also got into my heart. So now since 1990, my heart and my love and my desire is to see people look beyond CCM, black gospel, all that kind of stuff, but find songs that resonate with your heart, that speaks the truth of the gospel. And for some people, that's very difficult. There's some people, they're so used to listening to one thing. I'll never forget, and I'll say this quickly. I was in a church years ago in McAllen, Texas, not too far from the Mexican border. And the whole service was in Spanish. They had like 15 congas up there, bongos. Guitars. It was crazy. It was just crazy. And I remember being there and they're speaking, everything's in Spanish. And I'm like, why did we accept this? They don't even know what I'm going to say. This is bad. This is really, really bad. And the whole worship service is going on. And I'm thinking like, oh man, I shouldn't be here. But then all of a sudden they changed the song and they sang the song, Hoy más que nunca, Señor, yo te amo. Hoy más que nunca. It means more than ever before, Lord, I love you. And I remember seeing this big guy, his shirt could barely fit. It was a lot of poorer people there. His buttons were pulling on his shirt. And he was holding his little girl and tears were falling from his face. And it struck a chord in my heart. I had no idea at the time what they were singing, but I sensed the presence of God. And I think that if people become more aware of the presence of God and God speaking to them through a song, more than just the style. And again, we all have our different styles and our different likes and dislikes. But when it comes to worship, it's more than just that. Worship touches the heart deeper, more than just a song. So I can listen to songs now. It can be an Indian chant type of thing. Yeah. But I listen for the heart and the spirit of it, because you can have songs that are written that say all the right things, but they don't touch your heart or your spirit. But that's what I'm looking for now. And I pray that God would use this project to be able to do the same thing in the hearts of people. Maybe a person would not usually listen to this type of a song, but as they listen to the recording in the whole, it'll touch their spirit and do something fresh inside their hearts. Yeah.
It's good stuff. As people go and they give this project their first listen, what's that song on there you think they're going to be most surprised when they hear this version of that song?
A song called Holy, Holy, Holy. It's just a Yates song that I don't know that
Great song.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard one because maybe I'm too attached to it. What do you think, Stephen? I mean, obviously, Come Jesus Come and Holy, Holy, Holy are the two best on the album.
No, I don't know.
It's very eclectic.
It is. There's something on there that I think everybody will connect with.
I think it's just the flow of the whole thing. You know, sometimes you buy a recording just for one song, but I think you do yourself a disservice if you don't just listen to the whole entire project and let the flow take you where it's going to take you.
And that's how it was intended. Like, that's literally how we structured the whole night and hoped that it would go, is like a worship service. And if you could pick, if I could pick my favorite worship songs from 90s to current, from, young to old, so different styles and rhythms, like what would they be? And hopefully, people can relate to that and find something on there they love. So it was intended to be, what is it called? Is it EP, or what is it called when it's long play? What are those albums called? Come on, you guys are older than me.
Long play.
Long play, right? You listen front to.
So I have an idea. You can cut this out if you want, but you'll be denying people gold. What if you just made the whole album one track? Then they have to listen to it. I just have an idea.
You're not gonna test the fast forward that long. It's too much time. Just to listen to all.
I'm guessing they don't do that because of something with royalties, and you would make a lot less than you would with just the 11 tracks.
I will say there are really cool spontaneous moments that broke out in there, and one of the great things that I love about the album is hearing the entire room sing. And so there are moments that we did not plan that happened, and you can really just hear the worship pastors. And when 300 worship pastors start singing, it's beautiful. In fact, we started the album with them singing the doxology, so they didn't even know they were going to be a part of a recording like that. But you could just hear them singing in the room, and it made such a difference.
Yeah. Did everything make the cut, or were there songs that aren't on this that maybe we'll get down the road at some point?
There might be, yeah. There were a couple things that we weren't able to pull in. Once you start editing the live and so many things are happening in the room and you just can't get that sound out, or you can't,
Jesus.
Yeah. The goat says,
I gotta go to the bathroom. I know.
I wrote a song that I did called Come Jesus Come Already. And it didn't make the cut. It didn't make it. Would it come already?
Are you hearing
It didn't make it.
Yeah.
It didn't make it. But
Was this recorded for video too? Because as we talk about this, I can kind of picture it. Is the video version out there?
We did get some video. I don't know that it'll be on. Well, no, probably on beat. I really don't know the answer to that.
But there is video somewhere.
I know there's video, and I know
video.
we've been promoting with video.
yeah, they can see it on YouTube.
It'll be on
as well.
YouTube,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
on YouTube. I don't know as a whole night is what I'm saying. I know there are songs that will be on there.
Yeah. Well, has this sparked wanting to do it again already, and maybe a volume 2 of all this?
1000%. But I think every time you record something, like, you're ready for the next thing, right? When it's done, you're like, okay, what's next? What can we do the next time? So, but it was so much fun. And in the process, my husband Lynn and I learned so much in the process that I think if we're fortunate to be able to do it again, like, there's some things we would maybe amp up, or, you know what I mean? Always something different as a creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I hope so. It was a blast, and just honored everybody that was a part of it. Really brought 100%.
Yeah.
If there's a worship leader or a pastor that's watching this, they're kind of touched with this conversation, they're having these challenges with trying to introduce different styles of music into their congregation, what's that first piece of advice you give them to go down that road?
Oh, I mean, I kind of have this feeling that every worship pastor should know their congregation and their church, and what boundaries to push in order to to make it work. But I would just say keep praying and let the Lord show you which direction to go, and take some chances, because you never know what people are going to love until sometimes you just gently introduce it, or take a turn. And if the Lord tells you to do it, that's right. So
Consequently, you'll never know what they're going to hate unless you try some things.
that's right.
Some of them will let you know quickly. They didn't like it, though.
None of us have ever died from hate mail yet.
I have gotten a note once on one of the prayer requests that was like, this guy's worse than the normal guy. I swear. What's funny about it is they put it on the prayer request card. You put it in. I was like, man, I'm sorry.
Different kind of prayer.
Well, it sounds like when this one was recorded, it was meant for kind of a certain crowd, like a conference style crowd. Will there be a chance where you kind of take something like this out for a few dates in some random cities where the public can get to see it?
I could only dream. I think that would be like a bucket list for me, honestly. Like, it made me tear up just a little bit thinking about it. But that would be an incredible night for anyone to attend. It just, everyone's hearts, and that's what we prayed before, is God, just tune our hearts into where you want it to be. And there was no like competition or like, here, let me have that mic, or I want to sing this song, or there's nothing.
TaRanda does a really good job of cheering other people on, though.
Yeah.
But not everybody could do that really well.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Would you like to say something nice about me now? Yeah.
No, it was a great night where like we had Zeke from Elevation come in, who is like just one of the sweetest teddy bear guys ever. And just slayed it. And then Dan Dean, I mean, it was just an eclectic thing. And there was, like I said, there was no competition. Everyone was there to do what they love to do, and that's worship the Lord and bring their own unique style into a room. And the coolest thing for me was watching it be the kingdom, like literally the kingdom. And it wasn't race, and it wasn't gender, and it wasn't style. It was all of it in one night. And it was so refreshing to not be like, oh, we don't do that at our church, or that's not what this crowd does. It was just like, hey, here's what we're offering to the Lord. We're so happy you're part of it. And that turned into something beautiful.
Was there one person you really wanted to be a part of this first project that you weren't able to get, that maybe we call in for the next round?
Oh, I mean, there were people we called and the schedules didn't align or whatever, but I mean, I'm open to anybody. Honestly, it was a thrill. And I would be fine with this same cast of characters. And maybe Steven's not a part of the next one. What else you got, Steven? But it's, we'll see. We'll see what the Lord has. It would be a thrill to move forward with this. But we got to see if you like it first. I really believe you will. I think if you give it a shot. We pulled in live string players from the symphony there in Houston and had a string quartet on the stage, and they did a lot of the introductions and segues. So we really tried to make it about the music and the song, and just, how God would intertwine us together.